Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as was the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Let's talk about a few things. Number one, we are obviously going to be talking about why XRP is ready to shock everyone. But first, I feel as though I need to address what we are probably going to see in the comments on this video and what all of you are probably already thinking just by reading the title, which is, we've heard this 100 times before. XRP is not going to shock anyone. And yeah, wow, it's a big shocker. It went down 2 cents. It went up 2 cents. Wow, who cares? XRP is still at 50 some cents. And I want you to all listen to yourselves. Listen to those comments. Understand what that sentiment tells you. Always gauge what the market is telling you. And the market doesn't have to talk to you in terms of prices. No. The crowd will. When we talk about the crowd, when we talk about the herd, the mentality is if the price is not going crazy, it will never go crazy. And when the price is going crazy, they should have bought when it wasn't going crazy and now they missed out, so they have to FOMO in. That's what happens every single time. I'm going to be going over a few posts in this video as well as some charts as well. But regardless, as we look at this space right now, we are still ranging. From my video well over 24 hours ago now, the prices in this market have not changed too much at all. I've been addressing the charts for a little bit of time, and as we look at the 24-hour span, and even the 7-day span, there is some altcoins up, but it's nothing too significant. It's nothing like, I'm sitting on here and saying, hey, look at, there is so much movement in this market. Like, there really isn't a lot going on at this current moment in time. There's some great movement, in terms of like roughly 30% pull or pushes to the upside, or slight little pullbacks across the board, but nothing too crazy at all in terms of price action. And the reason why is because we are just waiting for a move to be confirmed across the board, especially when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, currently, Fear and Greed Index sitting at about roughly 57. This has started to bounce significantly just recently. As you guys do see, we were down here at about roughly 47. It was actually lower than the time back in the beginning of January. I wouldn't be surprised if we started to have another spike up into possibly like the greed territory. We're still watching Bitcoin dominance rather than pretty much anything else when it comes to altcoin charts, because this is where we start to see the Bitcoin pairs for a lot of these altcoins really breaking out. Now, when it comes to XRP, like I said, it's a story that we've heard every single day for the last roughly 2-3 years. I mean, even if we go all the way back to 2021, right? XRP still did very, very good off of the lows of 2020. It still did a roughly like an 11x or something like that. It might have been even a little bit more. We'll look at it, but regardless, XRP did do very, very well back in 2021, even in the middle of a lawsuit. Now, as we look at XRP today, big shout out to JD757. By the way, JD, myself, and also Tokenizer run a private group, which is the Crypto Wealth Network. Now, you might be looking at this and saying $99 a month, that is way too expensive. But I want you guys to understand that we post pretty much every single thing in that group. We're talking about TA, trading techniques, undervalued gems, portfolio insights, essential information around DLT and deep dives, project research. Also, I do every single week a full weekly breakdown of the overall market. There's a lot of stuff in this group for $100 a month. That is very well worth the $100 or more a month. So if you guys do want to go check this out, you guys are more than welcome to, with links down in the description below, as well in the comments below. And we also do have a pay with crypto option if you do choose the $99 per month one down here, which is just for 1 month access. But if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to. There's a lot of information in that group. And like I said, JD is one of the individuals in that group with me, with, of course, Tokenizer. But here we have a chart from JD talking about the hidden bullish divergence on the 2-week setup. So As we look at the 2-week setup on the RSI and also the price action, we could see where we were at back in 2021, right before the big moves to the upside on the XRP Bitcoin pair, and then where we are at right now. We're basically at that full bottom going all the way back to 2017 and even 2021. And here we have the 2-week chart, higher time frame, the less false signals. Glad we made 4x to 33x gains with other altcoins with zero emotions. I believe XRP will make life-changing gains for the 5% smart money once we bounce off of the 7-year trendline, and I completely agree. Now, also over here from JD, we have another chart that just recently got posted by him, and this is more so the total market cap of XRP. And we have XRP, once we break the top trendline, moonshot, the 5% will become richer. Glad we were patient for months and loaded up within the orange box. With that 44% crash, yes, patience was hard. Now here we have the overall chart here. This is where we loaded up on XRP. This is in the macro wedge, just squeezing, waiting for a big break to the upside. Very similar back to 2017, 2018. All the way from roughly 2014 to 2017, this thing just squeezed sideways while everyone was giving up on XRP, and then it broke to the upside. Now, beyond this, let's look at what Bobby A put out regarding XRP. There's 2 posts here. The first one is, why do I hold XRP? Because it is the closest thing to certainty in a market as volatile as this one. Of course, there will be assets that outperform. However, no other asset in this market has more 10x probability from current levels than XRP. None. And 10x is highly conservative, and I completely agree. People just lack the patience, but what else is new in markets? And we also have a comment here, which is from Offshore Mayor. We have Tesla and Microsoft all did the same. They both had a decade of expansion while their stock price flatlined until one day it exploded and never looked back. XRP is no different. And I completely agree on that statement as well, because so many people are just overlooking XRP right now simply because of price action. But when you actually look at it, it is one of the most certain investments that I have in this space as well. I completely agree with Bobby on this. And I also agree with this comment down here regarding Tesla and Microsoft and even Amazon. Over here from Bobby, we have, the market isn't paying attention to what the macro XRP chart is showing them because they are too focused on multi-year bearish narratives, and it will hurt like hell once the asset explodes higher, leaving most behind. And we see this all the time with a lot of projects in the space where they're just looking at it and saying, oh, the price action is not doing anything. It has to be bearish. This is a terrible investment. I'm not even touching it. I'd rather go invest into this meme stock, that meme stock. And it's just like, it's crazy to me that people are just overlooking what's right in front of them, which is, of course, the chart. Now, talking about charts, let's address a few things because now we got the open for the DXY, as well as even stocks and stuff. So we have a little bit more of confirmation on price action. The dollar. This is the daily. Seems to be gaining some momentum here. It came back down, retested some nice lows. I wouldn't be surprised if this continued a little bit higher to the upper trend line and then just kind of reject it from here and did something like this where it just kind of grinds sideways, waiting for the move to the downside. And that's when we really kind of look for this price action that I have outlined on this chart, and we target this green zone down here. That is when a lot of altcoins will really start to break out. Now, overall, MACD momentum is still fairly bearish. I do foresee this probably flipping a little bit to the bullish momentum, where this is actually going to continue to the upside. And that's where we really look at that trend line up there for a rejection somewhere around this range up here. Now, this is obviously on the daily. If we actually look at the weekly, this is what the weekly looks like. Like I said, it is gaining a little bit of momentum here, but I wouldn't be surprised if we repeated what we saw back here in November, where I could kind of show you guys this real quick on the bars graph, because we have a little bit of a similar pattern here where it's something like, this, where we have this nice bearish candle, which is this one, the week of April 29th. We have the second candle that is slightly green, but it's nothing too crazy. And then we finally get that big breakdown that we're actually looking for. Now, you could argue that it's not going to do the same exact thing, which I completely agree. It's not going to do the same exact thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if we actually started to do something very similar to that price action back there. That's why I do have this, slight grind to the sideways, and then we finally get that big breakdown back into our target zone down there. And that's what we're really kind of watching for when it comes to the dollar, because Once this does start to break down, risk on assets will go crazy. Now, beyond the dollar, we also have the 10-year bonds. Guys, focusing on this looks still fairly bearish to me. We might get a small bounce here, but I'm still expecting this to also have a major sell-off. And this is what the weekly looks like on this chart. We're basically back down to that bottom trend line. I'm watching this closely for a major breakdown because, again, similar to the dollar, this weakening is very bullish for risk on assets. Focus on this one. We're right back to that area of, it's a decision time, and we already got the decision. This did start to sell off back in April. It's a lagging factor, very similar to back in October, right, where it started to really sell off. But we really didn't see the price movement across the board in terms of altcoins until around roughly November into December, and that's when a lot of projects went crazy. Now, beyond this, Bitcoin dominance. Like I said, Bitcoin dominance, the big thing that I'm focused on here is two scenarios, right? So we have this high up here. We're looking at this possibly being a lower high, and we're also looking at a lower low. We have this low here, and I'm looking for a low somewhere around this region over here under the trend line. What we're looking at is us back testing that trend line and flipping it into resistance, which is the bottom one, and then just continuing to reject lower and lower. But there's also a possibility that we gain some momentum here on the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we break to the upside, back test, and actually reject off of that upper trend line, back test this 55.23% level, which is major resistance as support, and then we continue to break to the upside. We reject similar to what we saw back here in April, which was April 13th. Back testing that upper trend line once again, flipping it into support, and then continuing to that 58 to 60% level before a major sell-off. Either one, we're still expecting a sell-off, as I've mentioned on multiple videos, which will obviously lead to alt season. Now, beyond this, as we look at XRP dominance, this is what the dominance chart looks like for XRP. And just like everyone has been telling you, yes, this is very bullish. It looks fully bottomed out here. Go back to 2021. Go all the way back to 2017, 2018. This is what the weekly looks like on this chart, by the way. So let me zoom out for you guys. Let me just kind of show you what this looks like. So this is what this chart looks like. We're in this red zone, which is where every single major bounce has happened in history on XRP. And also look at the cross down here on the MACD while bullish momentum is starting to pick up and the RSI is finally back into a major area and starting to flip that moving average and gaining momentum as well. At the same exact time that when we look at Bitcoin dominance, it's looking like it's ready to make a major decision, as the dollar and also even the 10-year bonds are starting to have a sell-off. Now, outside of XRP dominance, let's go check out the XRP Bitcoin pair. So the XRP Bitcoin pair on the daily has been having a nice little run to the upside, nothing too crazy. On the weekly, this is what the weekly chart looks like. I told you guys that we are going to grind to the sideways price movement, aka just ranging sideways, waiting for that big move to the upside. That's what we're still waiting for. And again, very similar to the dominance chart going all the way back to 2020, go all the way back to 2017. This chart looks ready for a big pop, very similar to 2017 and also even 2020 into 2021. Now, yes, we did have a major sell-off back in 2020 and 2021 due to the SEC lawsuit, but regardless, we continue to bounce off of that level. And this red zone is where we really want to watch XRP and ignore all the FUD, ignore all the negativity, all the hate, because this is where most of the money will be made by watching XRP and paying attention to it. And very similar to the dominance chart, yes, we are starting to see the RSI peaking a little bit, and we're also seeing the MACD bullish momentum picking up a little bit as we are getting a major cross. Beyond that, the XRP USD pair. This is what the daily chart looks like for the XRP USD pair. We already had a major sell-off on the RSI back on April 13th. This was major oversold territory. This is where you really wanted to take some positions. And then we started to gain some momentum on the RSI while the price continued to grind to the upside. Now, it did hold this bottom trend line down here. We closed above 48 cents roughly, which was a very solid move on XRP. And also momentum on the MACD did continue. On the 3-day, which is a very interesting time frame, a lot of people love to look at. This is what the 3-day looks like. Again, nothing too crazy, but it seems as though momentum is starting to flip bullish on the MACD on the 3-day as well. And then on the weekly, momentum in terms of bearish momentum is starting to flip as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to squeeze to the upside here on XRP, waiting for a big break above that upper trend line on the weekly and a close above it, which would be a huge move because we have not closed over that in a very long time at all this cycle. We haven't closed over it this cycle, and what I'm really looking at is a close over 75 cents on the weekly. Until then, I'm not going to get too excited, and then we still have to close over 92 cents. 92 cents is the big area where we need to really kind of watch XRP closely. But regardless, look at this chart. Look at the overall chart for XRP here, as we're just doing something like this and have been since 2022. Look at this. It's just a grind to the upside, and we're waiting for the big moves. We have not saw a big move on XRP since going all the way back to the summer, and it wasn't even that big of a move. We're waiting for the big green candles like we saw back here in March. But as we really look at XRP, this is not a bearish chart. I feel as though like everyone's looking at XRP and we're like, oh, this is so bearish. Guys, this entire time that we've been just kind of ranging here from, 58 cents or even lower, it's the same exact levels that we were trading at before major pops to the upside. Even if we go all the way back to 2017, 2018, XRP ranged from anywhere between like roughly 12 cents to about roughly 39, almost 40 cents. And then it did that massive move to the upside. And this move happened in literally just one weekly candle. Like if we go off of the bottom, this first weekly candle was like roughly a 300% move. The next weekly candle was roughly a 472% move. The next one was a 1014% move, followed by the last remaining percentage, which was a total of a 1409% move. Now, if we go off of the bottom, it's like 60,000%. But then also over here from the 2020, from the SEC lawsuit low to the upside, that's roughly about 1,083% off of the March of 2020 lows, which was down here. It's roughly about a 16x move to the upside. This over here, what we're really kind of looking at, even if we go off of the 2022 lows, and if we do repeat something very similar to like 2021, which would not surprise me if we actually repeated this entire move, because remember, during this time, we were in the middle of a lawsuit, delisted from every single major exchange. There was not enough noise around XRP either during that time because all of the noise was negative. Now we have a lot of amendments happening. We have a lot of movement happening on the actual ledger, and adoption seems to be picking up as well. If we repeat that same move, we're still looking at about roughly a $5 XRP. I would be totally fine with that. If we're talking about anything like 2017, 2018, even off of the, demand range bottom, which is like roughly a 26x, we're still looking pretty good for that roughly almost $8 to $10 range. And if we did repeat that same exact move, we're just going to go to like 26.72 instead of 26.71, talking about roughly an $8 XRP. That's why I said like $8 to $10 is also a safe bet. But I do think that XRP will do more than a 10x this run up, but hey, I'm fine with a 10x return on XRP as well. But I do think that XRP is going to shock everyone because it's really not that hard for it to shock everyone, especially when everyone is so damn bearish on XRP. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, set notifications on because more free content. If you guys want to look and follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.